Okay, let's just dive right in. We're looking at the premium Android space today, and it feels like a classic story. The underdog innovator versus the established Goliath.
It really is. On one side, you have the new darling for enthusiasts, the OnePlus 15. All specs, all power.
And on the other, the one that's just always there, the champion, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Incredibly polished.
And this is more than just specs this time. Our whole deep dive, built from all the sources you send over, is really about this enthusiast versus mainstream idea.
Yeah, Clay.
These phones are they're built on totally opposing ideas. The OnePlus 15 is for the person who watches every teardown video. The S25 Ultra is for the person who walks into a store and says, "What's the best you've got?"
And it all comes down to about what, a $400 difference. The OnePlus 15 starts at $900, an incredible value. The S25 Ultra, $1,300. So we have to figure out why all these amazing tech breakthroughs in the OnePlus just aren't enough to really shake Samsung's grip on the market. What are you, the listener, actually paying that extra $400 for?
Well, to start that, we have to talk about the one feature that isn't just a small step up. It's genuinely transformative, and that's the OnePlus 15's battery.
I still get a little giddy saying this. The OnePlus 15 has a 7,300 milliamp hour dual cell silicon carbon battery.
It's just a wild number.
It's almost 50% larger than the S25 Ultra's 5,000 milliamp hour cell. And that silicon carbon part, that's the key, right? That's how they get that huge capacity without making the phone a brick.
Silicon carbon is really the next big thing for batteries. It gives you much higher energy density. And what that means for you, the person actually using the phone, is simple. The sources are all showing multiple days of battery life.
Not just getting through the day.
No. This is ending battery anxiety. Some of the reviewers, the lighter users, said they were easily coasting through a third day without even thinking about a charger.
And there was that one lab test figure that just blew my mind. The OP15 lasted 26 hours and 11 minutes.
Just continuous video streaming.
Yeah, continuous streaming. The S25 Ultra, it clocked in at 14 hours and 15 minutes. Why is that 12-hour gap such a seismic shift?
It just changes your behavior. It completely redefines the baseline for the industry. That gap means you don't plug in your phone overnight, you forget your charger on a weekend trip. It's not a crisis.
Right.
But we have to be honest about the trade-off. That freedom means the phone is thicker, it's heavier. The OP15 is a chunky device, and the S25 Ultra is still very sleek, very advanced in the hand.
And there it is. That's the conflict. Raw power versus, elegant polish. And that power story keeps going with charging. They put an 80-watt charger in the box.
In the box. Samsung doesn't give you anything.
And the OnePlus supports 50-watt wireless charging, which, and this is wild, is faster than the S25 Ultra's max wired speed of 45 watts.
That's a huge optics problem for Samsung. They really haven't pushed charging speeds in years, and it's starting to look like they're falling behind.
Which makes me wonder, are they just getting complacent? Are they relying on consistency as an excuse because they know the carrier deals will sell phones no matter what?
That's a fair point. But, and this is a huge but, this is where the S25 Ultra claws back a massive, non-negotiable win. The display. Even with that monster battery, the S25 Ultra still has, bar none, the best all-around smartphone display you can buy this year. Samsung just owns OLED panel manufacturing.
So what is it specifically? Beyond just the high resolution on its 6.9-inch screen, what makes it better?
It's the sheer usability. It hits 2,600 nits of peak brightness, which is it's scorching bright. So if you're outside in the sun, you can actually see your screen. But the secret weapon, the thing people overlook on a spec sheet, is the anti-reflective layer. It makes a gigantic difference for outdoor viewing.
But the OnePlus has its own trick up its sleeve for a very specific user.
It does.
Its screen is great, but the killer feature for enthusiasts is that 165 hertz refresh rate you can get in gaming mode.
And this is why we need to get into the weeds a bit. For just scrolling or watching a movie, 120 hertz on both phones is fantastic. But for a serious mobile gamer, that jump to 165 hertz, it's a tangible difference.
It's smoother.
It's beyond smooth. It's like liquid. You're trading some of Samsung's peak brightness for pure, unadulterated speed and response time.
That whole display thing really puts a spotlight on the different design philosophies, doesn't it? And that goes beyond the screen to what you actually hold.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Samsung is all about iterative refinement. The S25 Ultra is comfortable, it's predictable, it's bland maybe, but it's perfected. The OnePlus 15, though, it's a total pivot.
Yes. It's not slim and curvy anymore. It's blocky, it's rugged, it's wearing its power on its sleeve. And the standout feature has to be that sandstorm color.
The texture on that thing is unique.
The sources say it feels like stone, right? It's from this micro arc oxidation process that creates a ceramic-like coating. It's somehow both grippy and slick at the same time.
Right, it's not another glossy fingerprint magnet. And that blocky design, which they need for the battery, also allows for some extreme durability.
We have to break this down. The rating is IP66, IP68, IP69, and IP69K. What on earth does all that mean?
So IP68 is the standard, dust tight, you can dunk it in water. The 69 and 69K readings, that's industrial grade stuff. It means the phone is sealed against high pressure, high temperature water jets.
So like a power washer.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It shows an incredible level of internal engineering and sealing.
Which it needs, because under the hood you've got that Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor, and keeping that thing cool under load is the whole challenge.
Exactly. And that brings us to its internal secret. The 360 cryo velocity cooling system.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. What did the teardowns actually find?
It's some very clever engineering. There's a huge vapor chamber, almost 9 square inches. But the really fascinating part is that they inject thermal compound between the dual layered circuit boards right behind the processor.
So it's pulling heat directly from the source?
Directly from the source and spreading it fast. It's a very clever solution.
Which explains why I had these initial problems, right? The sources said early units were overheating like crazy in stress tests, hitting like 52 degrees Celsius on the outside.
They were. It was forced closing apps.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you push the envelope. And to their credit, they pushed a software update almost immediately that fixed it.
Okay.
Now, under max load, it peaks around 47 degrees internally. And that means it can sustain those high clock speeds for much longer than some rivals who have to throttle performance to stay cool. It went from a risk to a champion of sustained performance.
All right, let's switch gears to the camera, because this feels like the biggest philosophical change for OnePlus in years. They've dropped the Hasselblad partnership.
Mm-hmm. The orange shutter button is gone.
It feels like they're saying, we don't need the borrowed prestige anymore. We can do this ourselves.
It's a huge declaration of confidence. They put in a whole new triple 50 megapixel setup. And the key here is that they're prioritizing raw detail and more neutral, accurate colors over that slightly stylized Hasselblad look.
And they have that new processing trick, kind of like Apple's Fusion tech. They're blending the detail from a 50 megapixel shot with the light information from a 12 megapixel version to get a final 26 megapixel photo.
And it works. The reviews are clear. The photos are sharp, they're bright, they're accurate. There's a new level of confidence in the camera. Plus, for video creators, 4K at 120 frames per second in Dolby Vision HDR.
That's serious horsepower.
It really is.
Meanwhile, the S25 Ultra is, well, it's the S25 Ultra. It's the standard for consistency.
Absolutely. You know exactly what you're going to get. It's still got that headline 200 megapixel sensor, and critically, they upgraded the ultra wide, so it's not a huge quality drop off anymore.
But the real reason it sells so well is the processing, isn't it? The color science.
That's it. Samsung has tuned its processing to be warmer, more saturated. It makes the creative choice for you.
So it's ready for Instagram right out of the camera?
Precisely. The average person doesn't want to edit photos. They want to point, shoot, and post something that looks vibrant and punchy. Samsung delivers that immediate gratification better than anyone.
Which brings us to the big reality check. The thing that undercuts all of the OnePlus 15's amazing specs.
Yep.
The sandstorm finish, the 165 hertz screen, the multi-day battery, none of it matters if people can't easily buy the phone.
And this is where the Galaxy S25 Ultra wins by default. 2 reasons. Software longevity and sales infrastructure.
Okay, let's start with software.
OnePlus offers 4 years of OS updates, 6 years of security patches. That's good. It's very solid for Android. But Samsung comes over the top with an industry-leading 7 years of software updates. 7.
Wow.
For anyone who keeps their phone for 5, 6, 7 years, that promise completely outweighs any single hardware spec the OP15 has. It protects your $1,300 investment.
So that $400 price difference, that's what it's paying for.
It's paying for that, yes. But more importantly, it's paying for the infrastructure that lets you buy it, finance it, and get it supported easily.
This is the part that's so frustrating for enthusiasts. You have a $900 phone that, in some key ways, is better than a $1,300 phone. But it's a niche product because you can't just walk into any carrier store and pick one up.
That's the whole story. The average person cares more about a $30 monthly payment plan and in-store support than they do about a 7,300 milliamp hour battery.
Yeah.
The S25 Ultra is everywhere. And until OnePlus can afford to build or buy into that carrier system, which would raise its price, the OnePlus 15 is going to remain the best smartphone you won't buy.
So what's the final takeaway for you, the listener? It feels like we have two very clear camps. The OnePlus 15 is the raw performance machine, the value king for the enthusiast who knows exactly what they want and where to get it.
And the Galaxy S25 Ultra is the reliable, polished, and fully supported choice for pretty much everyone else. The person who values seamless access, that 7-year software promise, and just total market confidence.
The specs are getting closer, the innovation is there, but the path to actually dominating the market, it's about more than just tech. It's about infrastructure.
It's about infrastructure, polish, and that guarantee of longevity.
That line between innovation and just being everywhere is so stark.
Oh.
But here's a final thought to leave you with. Given that the OnePlus 15 offers this category-defining battery life while crushing the S25 Ultra on price, how long can Samsung and the others rely on carrier deals and software promises before a feature like a true multi-day battery becomes mandatory? Are we looking at a future where a 5,000 mAh battery just seems unacceptable for a flagship, and that massive 7,300 mAh cell becomes the new standard that everyone, even Samsung, is forced to match? Something to think about until next deep dive.